Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the GMRS 1900 Net on this first day of September 2020. This is Mike, WQIP827, and I am back after being away on vacation the last 2 months. I will be your net control for the evening. Before proceeding with the net, I'm going to check for any stations with emergency or priority traffic. Any emergency traffic, please call in now. Hearing none, if during the net there is any emergency or priority traffic, you're free to break in at any time. The GMRS 1900 Net is a directed net where we discuss matters relating to GMRS and various other topics. While a directed net is in operation, all radio traffic must go through net control. This net is normally held every Tuesday on the Phoenix High Power 550 repeater, transmitting on 462.550 from the White Tanks at 7 p.m., also known as 1900 hours. The net is normally conducted utilizing the national travel tone of 141.3 hertz. If you do not have that tone installed in your radio, you should do so as soon as practical. Participation in the net is still possible using the regular club tone if you place your radio into monitor mode. All participants are encouraged to use monitor mode during the net to ensure that you don't miss anyone transmitting on a different tone. The GMRS Net 1900 Net website can be found at www.AZGMRS.org and is run by the Arizona GMRS Repeater Club. We will start this net by asking for check-ins from our Zello users first. After that, I'll ask for check-ins from our RF users. After check-ins are complete, we will pose our topic and ask for input. When you take your turn, we ask that you keep it short, to the point, so that any questions or comments can be properly addressed by all. I would also remind you that when you are through with the conversation, please clear with your assigned FCC call sign. Any emergency or priority traffic before we continue, call in now. This is WQIP827, hearing none. We will now take check-ins from our Zello users only. Zello users only at this time, please. Do we have any Zello users that would like to check in at this point? All right, we will now take check-ins from our RF users. Please check in 2 at a time with your name and call sign. Please speak slowly, giving a few seconds of pause between transmissions so that I may write down the information.
WQWZ418.
Bob, WRCM 701.
Thank you, 418 Frank and 701 Bob. Continue checking.
WQDZ 664, Rich.
WQZZ 533, Jeff. All right, I got 664 Rich and 533 Jeff. Thank you for checking in. Continue check-in, please.
WRFP 808, Mark.
WRJF 513, Dave.
All right, thank you guys. I got 808 Mark and 513 Dave. Any others would like to check in?
WRJE 381, Michael.
WQYS 886, Jason.
All right, I believe I got 381 Michael and 886 Jason. Any other check-ins?
WRDC 319, Sean. WRCG 640, Adam.
Okay, thank you. 319 Sean and 640 Adam. Continue check-in.
WQRV 903, Tim.
WREL 486 Les, can you check me in and out, please?
No problem, Les. Thank you. Got you checked in and out. And I got 903 Tim. Continue check-in, please.
WQC 645, Gary.
QWI 942 Chris, please check me in and out.
Got you in and out, Chris, and also 645 Gary. Any others that'd like to check in?
WRFJ 362, Ryan.
WRJ 503, Tony.
Got 362 Ryan and 503 Tony. Any other check-ins?
WRJA 283, this is Ken, checking in and out, please.
WL 795, Attila.
Okay, Attila, I got you checked in, and Ken 283, I got you in and out. Any other check-ins? Okay, then we'll get started. Thank you for everybody that's checked in tonight. Tonight's topic is received PL tones, and we're going to be talking in a layman's terms, guide to whether they're in use or not to use, and we are not talking about PL tones on transmit. Just kind of goes to say if you don't use a tone or you got the wrong tone, you're not going to get into the repeater anyway. So we're talking about, do you use received tones or do you not use received tones? And let's start with 418 Frank. Good evening, Frank.
This is 418. I don't know. It's kind of iffy between me. I don't know if I like not having a tone, because then you have to hear a lot of other things. You know, well, it's on the receive, so I don't know. I really don't have much to say on that. Anyway, WQWC 418, back to that.
All right, Frank, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Been a long time since I heard your voice. Let's go with 701 Bob. You got any comments?
Yes, WRCM 701. On receiving, I very seldom turn on the tones, unless there's a lot of other obnoxious traffic on the channel. I usually leave it open. I just like to hear everything. So, WRCM 701, clear.
All right, thank you, Bob. I'm kind of along that same lines. I kind of like to hear everything, and I do have most of my radios are all Kenwoods. In fact, they're all Kenwoods, and they have a very good monitor mode on them that kills off those tones. But I usually don't put them in there unless it's on some of the club channels, and that kind of filters out what I have to listen to. So thanks to Bob. 664 Rich, any words of wisdom?
WQ 664. I very rarely have PL tone PL tone set up on my receivers. What I do have is on my scanners, I usually set it to PL search so that it'll display whatever PL or detail is being received, and then I can use that to determine who it is. I think it was Bob who said it, the only time I use PL on receive is when there's annoying going on, like the car wash or something. WQDZ 664.
All right, thank you, Rich. Along that same line, you mentioned a PL search on a scanner. Are we talking, can you elaborate just a little bit more on that?
Yeah, most current scanners will allow you to set it up so that it will receive a frequency and display whatever PL tone or DPL code is being transmitted on that signal. It'll just display right in the screen. So the scanner will show that it's transmitting PL 127.3 or whatever PL tone it's actually decoding.
Okay, that's kind of what I. Do you know if that's specific to any brand of scanners, or do most of them have that feature now?
Most of the Uniden and Whistler scanners, which are the two manufacturers that are out there now, have that feature. You just have to turn it on a particular channel or as the setting. It's pretty simple to do. Plus, I've also got a standalone PL decoder for my bigger ICOM radio that I see all the time. I can see that one from across the room.
Okay, and then just one more comment. I'm assuming that that tone is going to be the receive tone. It's probably not going to pick up something such as a system using split tones on the transmit.
No, it's only going to pick up the tone on the channel that it's receiving. So, like on a repeater, 99 times out of 100, you're hearing the output of the repeater, so you're only going to see that tone. If you're close enough to where you can hear the input, and you've got the scanner programmed to the input, then yeah, it would show that, but most of the time, especially where I'm at, you're only going to hear the outside of the output of the repeater.
All right, Rich. Good information. Thank you very much. And if you don't have anything else, I'll let you clear out.
That's all she wrote. WQDZ 664.
Thank you much, Rich. And it looks like next up we've got 533 Jeff. What do you got for us?
Good evening. I don't have anything to add. The only thing that I've discovered is on one of the channels out here in the East Valley, we get a lot of just static airtime on, I think it's the GMRS channel 13. So I've added the PL tone to that, and then it seems to knock out any issues. Right. Other than that, I don't have anything to add. I, like you, have a Kenwood now, and I love it because it does have that awesome monitor mode, which makes it really easy to follow what's going on. WQZZ533, back to net.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Mark, 808, how's it going tonight?
WRFP 808, Mike, it's going great now that you're back. We missed you, guy. As far as the topic of tonight's discussion, I've really got nothing else to add. WRFP 808.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And that moves us down to 513, Dave. Got any comments about receive tones, use them, not use them?
Complete learning mode here, so I have nothing. WRJF 513 clear.
All right, Dave, thanks for joining us. Hope to hear you back here in the future. Michael, 381, it's your turn.
Still really new to the whole GMRS thing, so I like to hear as much as I can. I don't want to miss anything, and I'm learning something every day, whether it's good or bad. WRJE 381.
All right, appreciate it. Looks like next up is 886. Jason, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm still in the learning mode, but considering I'm running a Kenwood and a Midland, on the Midland side I have to keep an open monitor to hear anything when I hit the repeater, so I'd like to use both, but that's where I'm at the moment. So if I'm on my Kenwood, then I can use the other. If I'm on my Midland, I have to use the monitor mode, but that's my input. 886 Chris.
Oh, I get you, Jason. So just real quick, does the Midland actually have a good monitor mode, or is it just one that opens up carrier squelch and you have to listen to the noise.
On the Midland, I'm on a 15 watt now. I've tried talking with you guys in the past. I've switched to an external antenna so I can get you from over here by the Chandler Airport. But on the Midland itself, on this 15 watts that I'm talking on right now, it's a open monitor. It's a full squelch. So if I'm talking to somebody and we're having a conversation like now, as long as we're using both receive and transmit tones the same, then it works out fine. If otherwise, I have to basically transmit. I have to program the transmit be on the repeater side and then do open squelch to hear anything.
Yeah, that's what I figured. There's a lot of them like that, and that's why my whole fleet is Kenwood.
Right, and again, for me, because of the fact that I'm running Jeeps and we're in several Jeep clubs, the footprint that I need is the Midland. My home base is a Kenwood. I got from I heard you guys talking about it, so I went that route for there. But that's where I'm at. 886 clear.
Yeah, Jason, you're talking footprint. Which one of the Kenwoods are you got? You got like the 8100, 8360s, or what?
The Kenwood I have at home is the 8360HU, so it's not very big, but when I'm looking at a Midland, my Midland unit, the transmit side can hide anywhere I want, and I only have the mic. It's all sorted one tiny application, so it's super tiny.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna ask if you'd actually looked at the 880s, which are pretty small and square, something along the same lines as the Midlands. Yeah, and again, I did look at those, and the Midland I think you're thinking of is their 40 watts, and that's about the same size as the Kenwood that I'm looking at, but this little 15 watts, the whole entire piece that I'm talking on is where I control volume and everything. It's basically just the mic, so it is super tiny. All right, gotcha. Appreciate you being out here tonight. If you have nothing else, I'll let you go ahead and close out. Yep, no, I appreciate the conversation. This is W2YS86. Glad you guys can hear me a little better than the last time. I'm clear. All right, thanks a lot, Jason. And looks away at 319, Sean. How's it going?
Pretty good, thanks for asking. As far as the tones, I don't use them near as often as I used to, other than at home. I will turn my radio to echo when I am either busy or going to sleep or whatever, so I still get the emergency alerts. And then when things were more active, I would sometimes turn off receive just so people on Bravo I wouldn't hear if they got into a longer conversation, but that hasn't been much of a thing lately. Though I do have my Kenwoods programmed to go into monitor mode when they're off hook, so I make sure to not step anyone because I can't always see the LED on my Kenwood. WRDC 319, back to net.
All right, Sean, appreciate it. That's a very good comment about programming it for off hook to automatically go into monitor mode. Very good comment. 640, Adam, how's it going tonight?
WRCG 640, good evening, Mike, everybody on the net. Mike, it's great to hear you on the radio again. Glad you're back. I think I'm pretty much with everybody else here for the most part. I've got the Anytone radio. It doesn't really have a monitor mode, but what I've done is I've programmed adjacent channels, one that has the decode PL set, and one that doesn't for kind of a fake monitor mode. And, I set that up that way a long time ago. I really haven't revised my setup since then, and I find myself only using the monitor mode channels. I don't really hear a lot of extra traffic where I am, so I don't find myself switching back to the channels with the PL in order to avoid traffic. In fact, I generally feel like I'd like to hear it if it's out there. So I don't find them terribly useful over here on GMRS. WRCG 640.
All right, Adam, thank you very much. And that brings us down to 903, Tim.
Well, hello, Michael, and thank you for taking the net tonight. And I would like to make a shout-out to the other Michael, WRJ381, our newest member. Thank you for joining the net and for being bold and getting on the jumping in the deep end of the lake right away, or deep end of the pool, I should say. So I always use monitor mode, and it's just because I don't want to annoy my wife by having calls from neighborhood kids making animal noises on the radio, and that's one of the reasons I do reset. And also because if the radio comes live, I like to know it's one of our club members, not just someone driving down the highway happens to have the same tone. And that's it. Most of the time I have the PL tones on. So WQRV 903, back to net control.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. And let's just do a quick shout out to see if there's any other later missed check-ins. I'd like to check in now. All right, hearing none, that brings us to 645, Gary. Good evening, Gary.
This is WQZ 645, and good evening to the net, and also glad to have you back on the net. Really glad to have you back. Hey, before we get into talking about monitor mode and the tones and everything, let's just remind everybody about the meeting coming up later on this month. It's almost that time. It's going to be September 19th, a Saturday at 1 p.m., and it will be a virtual meeting, and we're going to send out a message via email to all members about how to connect. So make sure that you make some time there on Saturday, September 19th for our meeting, and we're going to try to have a lot of good information for you. Now, as far as monitor mode, I tend to stay out of monitor mode most of the time and listening, because I want to hear any stations out there that are transmitting regardless of what tone they're using. Reset. And when I need some quiet, or it's bedtime, then the tone goes on. But other than that, I'm listening to pretty much anything that's on the frequency. And I have a couple of good radios that, like the Motorola's, are similar to the Kenwoods as far as the monitor mode, so I can switch back and forth anytime. I do have an Anytone as well, and that is a bit more challenging. I still have to change it around and program it the way that Adam has it. That's what I want to do, but I haven't quite got to that yet. This is WQZ 645, back to net.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. And that brings us down to 362, Ryan. Good to hear you again.
Hey, Mike, good to have you back. Thanks for hosting the net. Yeah, I really don't have much to contribute to this. You have helped me all along the way of my journey here with GRMS radios, so you have done all the programming. So I don't really have an answer for that. I just know that I keep it in monitor mode, and if anyone's out there, I listen to them and chat back and hopefully have a conversation every now and then. It's nice. WRFJ 362, back net.
Yeah, Ryan, it's good to be back. And let me just ask you this: Are you a scanner? Do you use your radio, and do you have it scanning the other frequencies?
Yeah, Mike. I was scanning. I think it was a week or two ago on 575 towers, just because it has more activity and it's people are responsive over there. And I heard a call for help and was able to get somebody out there for a forest fire. So yeah, I scan around. I play with the DPS channels, stuff like that. I kind of just enjoy listening to chatter, and somebody's out there that wants to chat.
All right, very good. You were not on here last week because that comment or that situation with that fire was actually brought up, and kudos to you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, sorry, I was working in California, so I wasn't able to hit the tower last week.
Not a problem. Proud to have you as part of the group, and if you have nothing else, we'll let you close out.
With that, thanks, Mike. WRFJ 362, back to net.
Thanks, Ryan. Looks like we're up to 503, Tony. Is this your first time? Tony, are you still out there?
Yes, can you hear me? This is WRJ 503.
Got you loud and clear. Is this your first net?
I think I've checked in once before, 503.
Oh, good. You have any comments to share with us? Anything about receive PL tones, any programming issues?
I keep my receive PL tones off. I believe I'm new to AZGMRS repeater around the valley here. There was one repeater I thought that was used both by AZGMRS and then was open, and the repeater setup could do both. Anyway, I figured out by keeping the tones off I could chat kind of with both sets of people, and if I had the tone on, then I couldn't hear them. So yeah, generally I just keep all the receive tones off. I don't see the traffic conflict that would cause me to ever turn them on, generally on amateur or GMRS. WRJ 503.
Very good. Thanks, Tony, for joining us tonight. And 795, Attila, looks like you're last.
Good evening, Mike and the net. Yeah, I'm the last one. I have a Kenwood commercial, so all my PL tone program, but I have a monitor mode so I can hear everybody and all the channels what is programmed. I have no other radio. It's WQWL 795.
All right, Attila, good to hear you on there. Before we close out tonight, is there any other later missed check-ins? Go ahead and check in now.
WQWZ 299, Brent.
Hey, Brent, how is it going? And we were talking about whether or not you use PL tones on receive, or do you just rely on monitor mode?
No, I do use the PL tones only because I have a really sensitive front end on my radio and I hear everything other than the club traffic. So especially at night, I have them on in the evening times due to all the bubble pack radios and stuff that I run into. But I do try to monitor it sometimes without it. WQWZ 299.
Thanks, Brent. And you're probably on your way into work, so mobile with care. Any other check-ins I would like to check in now? All right. Any other comments before we close up? Okay. Well, that was 20 of us tonight. Nice turnout, people. This is WQYP 827. I want to thank everybody who checked in and participated in tonight's net. I do hope to hear you back here next week. Special thanks goes out to WPRR 517 for hosting the Phoenix High Power 550 repeater. This is WQYP 827, net control for the GMRS 1900 net, returning the repeater to its normal operation. Have a good night, everybody.
And good evening. This is WQZ 645, Gary, and I'll be your net control for the Arizona Emergency Services Group net. This net is normally conducted after the Tuesday night 1900 net concludes. The Arizona Emergency Services Group, or AESG, is part of the Arizona GMRS Repeater Club. The volunteers in our group, a unified team of licensed GMRS and amateur radio operators, receive training and also conduct exercises to expand their skills. And some of our members handed their GMRS license, and then they got a ham license, and some had a ham license, then got the GMRS license. But those who are dual licensed, well, they have an extra tool in their radio toolbox. If you're interested in joining our group, just send us an email, ESG@AZGMRS.org, or check out our website. That's going to be at ArizonaEmergencyServicesGroup.org. The purpose of this net is to perform a regular test of communications equipment, provide training in emergency procedures, and exchange information related to preparedness. All nets, whether for training, exercises, events, or incidents, are directed nets. This means that all traffic must go through net control. In addition, stations should notify net control prior to changing frequencies or leaving the net. And any station may break in at any time with emergency or priority traffic. Is there any such traffic at this time? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and continue with the net. Any station that would like to fill in as alternate net control tonight, please call now with your FCC call sign.
WQYP 827.
WQWZ 299, Brent.
Okay, 827, you are alternate net control, and 299 Brent, we have you checked in. And we'll go ahead and continue with our check-ins two at a time. Please go ahead and give your FCC call sign and your name two at a time.
WRCG 640, Adam.
WRDC 319, Sean.
Okay, we have 640 Adam and 319 Sean. Any other stations?
WQZZ 533, Jeff.
WQWI 942, Chris. Please check me in and out.
Okay, 533, Jeff, glad to hear you. We've got you checked in. And Chris, we've got you checked in and out. Any other stations checking in tonight?
WQRV 903. Please check me in and out, Gary.
Okay, Tim, we've got you checked in and out. Any other stations?
WREL 486. Please check me in and out.
Okay, 486, we have got you checked in and out. Any other stations checking in tonight?
WQWL 795, Attila.
And 795, Attila, we've got you checked in. Any other stations checking in? Okay, very good. Now we're going to go ahead tonight. We're going to talk about a couple of things. One is we're going to continue our discussion about some resources. Now, last week we talked about resources that are available, and instead of talking about equipment resources, we were talking about informational resources. We're going to continue that tonight, and we're also going to talk about some of our training requirements and some changes that may have to happen there as well. But first, we're going to talk about today. Today, September 1st, is the beginning of National Preparedness Month. And this is an excellent time of the year to go ahead and make sure that you've got everything set up and everything is checked out. We've got all of your supplies ready, all of your plans and procedures, your phone lists where they need to be. Your plans and procedures should be, as well as your phone list, should be on every device that you have. Basically, you should have it saved on there so it's easy for you to get that information real quickly. And in addition to that, we have other resources available on the AESG website, of course, checklists and that type of thing, available to help you with getting your go kits and your stay kits available. And one thing we want to talk about tonight is just one question for the net, and that is just about your go kit. If you have a go kit, exactly what do you have that in? What do you use your container for your go kit? And of course, we're talking about go kits that may be at your home, or maybe you may have it in your car or at your work. And depending on which one it is, it also may depend on whether, how much room you have available as well. So we're going to go down the list here and just check and see, do you have all your supplies like that you may need to take with you? If somebody says, hey, you've got to evacuate your home in 15 minutes, you have to go now, then what do you have available that you can grab and go? Such as your supplies like water, food, medications, first aid kit, pet supplies, emergency blankets, sleeping bags, extra clothing, Santa wipes, towels, an N95 mask, if you can find one, work gloves, flashlights, batteries, and so on and so on. There's a lot more to the list, but what do you have your go kit contained in? Is it a backpack? Is it one of these plastic containers or plastic box? What type of container do you have for your go kit? And that's the question we have for the net tonight. This WQZ's 645 Net Control. Go ahead and call in with your call sign and your name, and just let us know the answer. How about 827? We'll start out with you.
Okay, Gary, thank you very much. I'm a somewhat avid camper hunter, so I like to keep most of my stuff in the black and yellow plastic tubs with snap lids. I've got a couple of those that are dedicated to just stuff that a lot of what you had, first aid kits, blankets and things like that I can actually just pick up and throw in the trailer. Radio-wise, most of those are setting on chargers where I can just grab them up and throw them in the boxes as we go out the door. WQYP 827.
Okay, very good. So most of those are like those plastic containers with the snaps on?
Yep, they're the black boxes with the yellow plastic lids, and they're all usually the bigger ones. I do have some of the smaller ones that I usually put the radios in it. The reason I like them is I can actually bring them in out of the trailer once I come home, and they stack real well, and they're just real easy to pick up and throw in should something happen. WQYP 827.
Okay, very good. And how about 299 Brent? How about you?
I'm right along the same thing with Mike. I have a big tote with stuff in it, and then I also have a secondary that I take to work with me every night. That's in a backpack. That way it's easy to grab and easy to go. Also, I have several UHF radios with all the club stuff in it. That way the family and I have it if we need it. WQWZ 299.
Okay, very good, Brent. And how about 640 Adam? What say you?
WRCG 640. No, I don't currently have a go kit set up, but I've got some materials ready to start building out such things. I've got a 24-liter backpack set aside to start working on a small go kit. And I've also got a Pelican rolling top loader case that's a little over a cubic foot in total volume that I'm going to be building a radio go kit into. So none of that stuff is done yet, but that's my plan. WRCG 640.
Okay, very good. That sounds good. And this being National Preparedness Month, well, this is a great time to do it. Now, myself, I've got what Mike has with, I've got the larger plastic containers, and I can throw a lot of stuff in there. I'm one of these color code persons, so I've got smaller plastic boxes that are color coded for various things, like one box for lighting, flashlights, batteries, glow sticks, things like that, and another box for a first aid kit, and then I've got some of those Pelican type cases for some equipment and that type of thing. So I've got various things that I can just grab and go. How about 319 Sean? How about you?
I'm about the same. Since I do a lot of road stuff, I already have a bunch of Pelican cases, so I just have another Pelican case for the truck that is got enough room to keep my smaller backpack in it, since if I'm going to need the backpack, I'm almost certainly going to be in the truck, so I do have a Pelican case of stuff inside the house as well. WRDC 319, back to net.
Okay, very good, Sean. And how about 533 Jeff? What do you have for us tonight?
533, I'm kind of in the status as Adam. I've got all my stuff. I just need to put it together. That's a work in progress, and I'll be working on it this month. I think that's a great idea, Gary. WQZZ533, back to net.
Okay, very good, Jeff. Appreciate that. And how about, 942 Chris? I think he wanted to be checked in and out, so we will go ahead and pass right over him and Tim, and we will end up with 795 Attila. And what do you have for us?
Good evening. I am in a unique situation. I do a lot of portable operations, summit on the air, and it depends that I can drive up to the mountain top or just, to close by, that I have several solutions. I have a 105 amp hours flooded battery, but also I have a very small QRP radio with very small battery too, and I have a bunch of HDs, GMRS also an amateur. So it depends what I'm planning to do. So I don't have a permanent go kit. I have backpack. So when I decide what to do, I pack the backpack or I put in a plastic box and put it in the car. So nothing permanent. It depends on what I'm planning to do. WQWR795, back to net control.
Okay, very good, Attila. And let me just check and see if we have any other stations they would like to check in tonight. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the training that we have available and that is required. Right now, we don't have a whole lot of training available, actually, of course, because of the COVID situation, and I'm really love to get back to the status where we can have our training courses again. And I was right in the middle of developing a general, kind of a basic two-way radio course, and also another course for the RDF, or radio direction finding type training class. But then COVID hit, and it kind of threw a wrench into things. So We are not going to forget that. We're going to keep that going. And of course, the basic training that we, when we are able to have training, the basic training we want all of our members to have is the 4 FEMA online courses as a minimum: the IS 100, IS 200, IS 700, and the IS 800. And those are online courses. So if you are able to do those now, that would be great, and get those out of the way, get those under your belt. Then we have an AESG introduction course that gives the basic information about our group. We have a net operations course, and we generally require anyone who's going to be a net control operator on a AESG operation. We want them to go ahead and take that course. Then we have the emergency radio operator course, and we've done all of these before. And I've had help out with a lot of people, including Mike. He's helped me out with these courses as well. And then we normally would have a requirement of a refresher course of these courses every 2 years. And of course, we also had various other courses that we had planned, including we were looking into having a first aid course that would have been free, and then again the COVID kind of knocked that out of contention there, so that didn't work out too well for us. But we're going to try to get back to that. And one question I did want to throw out to the net, and that question is the possibility of either doing some of these courses on a video, or possibly doing a seminar type of a course where people can essentially log in to a virtual course, and they would be able to be involved more and communicate back and forth during the course or video. And I'd like to throw that out to the net as well tonight and see what everybody thinks about that. Because if there's enough interest in it, we may go ahead and go that route, especially if this situation continues as it is. This is WQZ 645 Net Control. Let me throw it out real quick to 827. What do you think about that idea?
Well, given the circumstances, I think it's a great idea. I'm not sure at this point how to go about getting it set up, but since we can't meet together at this point, I think that's a great idea. WQYP 827.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and we're definitely may look at that and see what can be done. Something similar to the way that we do our virtual meetings, maybe something that may work out, but I just have to get it nailed down on how we can put slides and that type of thing up on the screen so that everybody can see those. How about 299, Brent? What do you think? Brent, have we still got you out there? Okay, he's probably getting ready for work. How about 640 Adam? What is your idea on this?
Gary, I think that's a absolutely spectacular idea. I think there's a lot of different ways that we could go with that. If we were to do something akin to live video, like we did for the previous club meeting, it's very straightforward to get slides or other information up for everybody to view during that. I do video calls like that pretty much every day of my life, so I'm more than happy to help out if need be. And if we do any sort of videos that we make available on the ESG website in the training area, If there's anything I can do to help produce those, certainly let me know. WRCG 640.
Okay, very good, Adam. We may just call on you for some help on that. How about 319, Sean? What do you think of the idea?
Well, I've done all of my college classes online, so I'm certainly no stranger to it. So I certainly wouldn't mind. WRDC 319, back to net.
Very good. And, of course, this is mainly just until we can get around this COVID situation and get around to the other side here. How about 533, Jeff? What do you think?
I think it's a great idea, Gary. I'm doing the IS 700 course as today. I did the 100 and 200, and for me it's an effective learning format. And like Adam, doing a fair amount of Zoom meetings. You can put all sorts of desktop presentations. It's an effective learning format, and if you record it, it becomes a useful ongoing tool. WQZZ533, back to net.
Well, that's even a better idea. That's interesting to go ahead and do a virtual type class and then record it, and then you could use it later. So I like that idea. How about 942, Chris? Are you still in there, or are you not available?
Sorry, Gary. I'm busy with a couple other things here. WQW on 942.
Okay, no problem at all. And you did ask to be checked in and out, so that's completely understandable. Tim also asked for that, and as well as 486. So how about 795, Attila? What do you think?
I think it's a good idea. I have a couple of meetings, volunteer meetings, and also club meeting. I'm sure you do club meetings, and some of them recorded, so if somebody cannot be present at the time, they can see the whole presentation. I got a couple of one for the DX Club, and some presentation is very good. So it's a good idea. We can do that. And also, I'm checking out at this moment. WQWR795, back to net control.
Okay, very good, Attila. You have a good evening. And we're about ready to wrap it up here anyway. We just wanted to mention about the informational resources. We did talk a lot about those last week, and we also had everyone on the net kind of go and find some of the information that we requested on the web page, and that worked out very well because I believe just about every single person involved was able to get that information that they were requested to obtain. So that worked out well. And as it sits right now on the AESG website, we do have a lot of information available on the member page, the member resource page. Then there is a preparedness page that has information on there as well, and a links page. And in the near future, we're going to be adding more information and resources on there as well, including information on SWR and what is involved with that, and some information that will help people understand it a little bit better. If you do an SWR check and it tells you, okay, I got 1.8 to 1, what does that mean? Well, this calculator that's available that we're going to link to tells you the percentage of RF energy loss that you have at different SWR readings. So just an example of some of the information we're going to add. And with that, we're going to go ahead and start to wrap it up tonight. And just want to throw it out there and just double check and make sure if anybody has anything else, any comments or questions for the net tonight. Okay, very good. And, of course, if you happen to think of anything later on after the net, you can always email us. That's going to be esg@azgmrs.org. I'd like to thank everyone who participated in the net tonight. This is WQZ 645 Net Control. The repeater is now being returned to normal operations.